said, "It took me 7 months, but I completed all the self-authoring suite in July. I'm still not motivated to do anything and waste all of my time. What do I do?" Well, the first question is it true that you're not motivated to do anything? And is it true that you waste all of your time? It seems highly unlikely to me that both of those things are 100% true. So one of the things you might notice is, is there anything that you're motivated to do? I presume you're motivated to eat, although perhaps not. And I'm not being smart about this. Partly what I would say is two things. You might need some smaller goals. Like, you have to shrink your goals to the point where you've established a plan forward that consists of steps that not only you would be willing to take, but that you would take. And so some of that's humility. It's like, man, I'm stuck. I can barely do anything. It's okay. Like, well, I'm laying in bed for 7 hours a day. Well, could I lay in bed for 6 hours and 6.5 hours tomorrow? You know, or while I'm in bed, could I do something somewhat useful? Could I read a book? Could I read 1 page of a book? Could I read a paragraph of a book? You have to find those steps forward that you would take. I really think it's useful to make friends with something like a Google Calendar, you know, or whatever calendar program you might want to use, and start designing days that you would like to have, because that's the right way to use a calendar. And everyone out there that's listening, you should use a calendar to structure your days, because if you know what you're doing tomorrow, it decreases your anxiety substantially, because you need that kind of structure. You need a pathway. You need to have a map, and you need to know where you're located on the map, and you need to know how you're moving forward. And that gives you hope, because you're moving towards goals that you regard as worthwhile. And it stops you from being anxious, because you're not entirely directionless and lost. And so learning how to manage your time is useful. And you can start with a calendar. You can start with simple things, like you can put in, well, when you're likely to go to bed and when you're likely to get up. And regulating that's useful. That should be relatively ritualistically consistent. It's very difficult to get your life in order if your sleep-wake schedule is completely random, or if it's not aligned with like day and night, and if it's not aligned with the normative practices of other people. And so you may have to learn to get your sleep-wake cycle regulated properly. And then the same with your eating schedule. Those are very basic things. And you can do that badly, but that's what you want to approximate. 3 meals a day, let's say, because that's what people do normatively. And then you have to add small goals. Now, if that doesn't work, like if you can't make the goals small enough to achieve, you know, it might be that you're not being humble enough with regards to your conceptions of your own ability.